EA Games can only dream of being as well respected and revered by the gaming community as CD Projekt Red, the creator of the Witcher series, is today. They cry themselves to sleep wishing this like the little greedy fat babies that they are, as their share price tumbles and Battlefront 2 underperforms across the board. To recap for anyone that has been living under a fucking rock these last couple of months, EA Games is what you could call a titan of the gaming industry. However, there is that old adage, muttered by monks and Spider-Man fans alike, with great power comes great responsibility. EA is a gigantic strip mining conglomerate that sucks developers and intellectual property in at one end and shits out of the other rushed, half-baked, shiny cash cows that are only designed to line the pockets of investors. This is their modus operandi. EA has destroyed and left in ruins a number of game studios in their conquest for world domination. DICE, Criterion, Westwood Studios and Bullfrog, to name but a few. I don't mean to make them seem like Nazis, but they really are that bad. The gaming community is a hardy bunch, however, and we are only going to take so much when our way of life is threatened, and threatened it was. 2 months ago, EA released their Battlefront 2 beta, and we quickly realised they had gone full pay to win, with an as close to gambling as possible without being illegal loot box system. Without paying for loot boxes, it was worked out that a full completion of all the unlockable content would take over 4,000 hours or $1,200 respectively if you couldn't wait that long and didn't have that much spare time. Yeah, right. This was a bridge too far for a AAA title with a retail price of 50 to 80 smackaroonies, so the battle lines were drawn. The gaming community rallied the troops and then with an unstoppable, unrelenting barrage used the internet exactly how it was supposed to be used and proceeded to meme EA into a galaxy far, far away. And then far beyond that. EA's questionable customer relations weren't up to the task either. And in a Reddit Ask Me Anything, the devs managed to ignore nearly all of the poignant questions posed by the community. When they finally did get around to answering an on-topic question, however, their lackluster response of, "We want you to work for staff," is now the most downvoted post in Reddit history by a factor of 12, with 300,000 downvotes. No easy feat. We are all but Padawans of hatred in comparison to their epic Jedi mastery. Or are they Sith Lords? As the memes reached a crescendo and EA realised what a PR nightmare they had created for themselves, they put out a half-assed statement saying that they made a whoopsie and would delay the gambling features until after Christmas when everyone had already bought it because they thought we were stupid. Big mistake, EA. Or, as I've lovingly come to call them, epic arseholes. Battlefront 2 sales are down 60% over Battlefront from 2015, and Christmas sales are not looking good either. This whole fiasco has tanked their share price more than $3 billion so far, and on top of that, loot boxes are now being scrutinised by legal professionals across the world, and we may see the governments of the UK and the USA address this issue by way of new legislation. Hurrah for gamers. We've had a small but consequential victory against a behemoth here. So why do I bring up EA and CD Projekt Red in the same video, you may ask? Well, they're two different sides of the same coin, and I think it's good to get a comparison of what's evil in this community and what's good in this community. CD Projekt Red had tremendous success with the Witcher franchise, coming to a fruition with The Witcher 3 that was, in my opinion, one of the best games ever made. It was a truly epic, visionary, scaled RPG and did not disappoint in any way, shape or form. I'm currently on my 7th playthrough. The DLCs were just as good, adding to the story in a phenomenal way and importantly being priced correctly. Other DLC content was completely free. Very rare these days. They are now in the process of developing Cyberpunk 2077, another RPG set in the future based on the comics and graphic novels of the same name. It is again a visionary project, and I doubt going into it they knew how they're going to pull it off. They just knew they had to for their fans and their consumers. I've never looked forward to a game so much as this. Not only because of the game, but for the first time ever, because of the developer, and because I now trust them to do a fantastic job. There are a couple of examples of how awesome CD Projekt Red is customer relations wise. and I just wanted to share them with you so you can get a sense of why they are so much better than their counterparts, EA Games. A while back, some people came across some less than flattering reviews regarding some ex-employees and their time at the company CD Projekt Red. Now, I wouldn't call it a scandal, but it ruffled some feathers amongst gamers and YouTubers, and there was some concern about Cyberpunk 2077 and the future of the game's development. Now, normally nothing would happen with that concern, but this time, out of the blue, CD Projekt Red released a statement simply off of the back of a few YouTube videos and some comments by the gaming community. I thought this was awesome, and of course I wanted to read a paragraph as well, as I think it sums up CD Projekt Red very well. This approach to making games is not for everyone. It often requires a conscious effort to reinvent the wheel, even if you personally think it already works like a charm. But you know what? We believe reinventing that wheel every friggin' time is what makes a better game. It's what creates innovation and makes it possible for us to say we've worked really hard on something and we think it's worth your hard-earned cash. If you want to make games with a close enough is good enough attitude, you end up in a comfort zone and you know where the magic happens. God, I love these people. It's exceedingly refreshing and reassuring to hear things like this. A few weeks later, in the midst of the EA Battlefront 2 loot box gambling, greedy whore, shitstorm, CD Projekt Red's CFO was interviewed in Poland and made a couple of comments regarding ongoing multiplayer longevity and how commercially significant Cyberpunk 2077 would be. This immediately piqued the attention of the community, and maybe prematurely, some were suggesting CD Projekt Red were going to put the dreaded loot boxes into Cyberpunk 2077. We were all stunned. Surely not. CD Projekt Red, you were the chosen one.
You were the chosen one!
And then calmly, as if a father was speaking to a frantic child worried about something, the developer responded on Twitter to one of the YouTube videos making the rounds like this. At Pretty Bad Tweets. Worry not. When thinking CP 2077, think nothing less than The Witcher 3. Huge, single-player, open-world, story-driven RPG. No hidden catch, you get what you pay for. No bullshit. Just honest gaming like with Wild Hunt. We leave greed to others. What a legendary tweet. In 6 lines, they're able to calm the nerves of on-edge gamers agitated by the EA debacle, lovingly put their proverbial arm around us, and then simultaneously and effortlessly throw a kill shot of shade to EA. Again, this is why I love them. They speak to you as if they're your best mate or comforting father, just what you need at the time, even though the Witcher series has now grossed over $1 billion worldwide. Can you imagine EA ever being that candid, straightforward and funny in a 6-line tweet? Hell no. If there's no profit, they don't care. Lastly, something that showcases the love CD Projekt Red has for its games and gamers. On the 10th anniversary of The Witcher, or the 10th birthday, whichever you want, they released a short thank you to us as players, simply because they cherish the bond they have nurtured between players and The Witcher through epic storytelling, character creation and daydream development over the course of many years. A one-of-a-kind short FMV of all of our favourite characters gathered around, raising a glass to the community. It was just epic. Take note, EA. This is how it's done. Now, as CD Projekt Red grows, they face the same challenges that any successful company faces. Undoubtedly, they'll be pressured by outside forces to change and become something different, something that doesn't cherish the IP or the consumer as much as they do now. But if they want to continue strengthening the bond they have with us and continue to make well-received projects, they have to resist these temptations. CD Projekt Red, never, ever, ever change the way you do things. With all of this other shit going on, you really are the chosen one. I will say this, if they stick to their guns and put out a radical, genre-stretching, new age RPG in the form of a graphically marvellous, non-buggy Cyberpunk 2077 at a reasonable price, with reasonable pricing systems for any future content and good customer services and updates as we now see them effortlessly in one day, they will become world renowned as one of the best developers ever to grace the industry. I simply cannot wait for this game. I cannot wait for further news on this game. So for that reason, I'll be bringing any new Cyberpunk info or news I find to video format, no matter how big or small, from now. So make sure to like, subscribe to this channel and press the notification bell so you don't miss out. Please also comment down below and share this so I can grow my channel. I really appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. Peace out.